Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm going to be showing you how I created this cut crease, smoky, winged liner look. There's a lot going on in this one. I'm super excited because I finally ordered not only the Norvina palette but also the Prism palette, so I've got both of them on the way right now. So in the meantime, what I thought I would do would be to come up with some looks using the Anastasia palettes that I already have, which are Modern, Renaissance and Subculture. Penold on Instagram did some really lovely smoky liner and inspired me to do this look. If you enjoyed this video, then please make sure you give it a big thumbs up. My last video currently is at 20, so I would really love it if this one would make it to 30. So leave me a thumbs up and a comment if you like the video, and don't forget to subscribe so that you don't miss out on the next one. And now let's get into the makeup look. This is always weird. Oh, it's so weird to talk to myself even though I'm alone. Can't get used to it. Okay, right, let's start off with primer. Today I'm going to be using the Jouer Anti-Blemish Matte Primer. Okay, moving on to foundation. I think this week again we're just going to use the Urban Decay Naked Skin Foundation. I just really like the way it makes my skin look at the moment. I'm blending it out with my Real Technique sponge. Okay, now that's all nice and blended in, I'm going to go in with concealer, and once again I'm just using the Bourjois Radiance Reveal one in the shade number 1 Ivory. And then blending out using the mini Real Technique sponge. So just making sure that nothing is creasing before I just go in and powder my under eye. And I'm not being very original here, I'm just going to use the RCMA No Colour Powder. I'm going to take just a little bit more on my mini Real Technique sponge and just get my smile lines on the base of my nose. For brows, I'm going to use the L'Oreal Paradise Pomade Ecstatic in the shade 101 Light Blonde. And I'll be taking that on an Anastasia Beverly Hills brow brush. And once the eyebrows are filled in, just going in with the Max Factor Natural Brow Styler in clear, just to keep them in place. And final step before moving on to the eyes, I'm just going to finish setting my face, and for that I like to use the Bourjois Poudre de Riz de Java in the little green pot here, and just taking that same powder brush as before. I'm just going to give everything a quick spritz of the Revolution Hyaluronic Fix, just to kind of set the powder in quickly. Okay, let me zoom you in and we're going to get started on the eyes. I'm going to start off by carving out my eyebrows as well as planning my lids at the same time, and of course I'm going to be using the P. Louise base, and I'm just taking that on my F17 Blank Canvas Cosmetics brush, just popping a little bit on there and then patting it into my lid. And blending out the edges with a sponge. So, normally, whenever I use this palette, I always gravitate towards the pinks. I don't want to do that today. I want to do a slightly different colour scheme. I'm going to be going more for the browns and the golds, I think. I think I'm going to start with warm taupe. So I'm taking that on a fluffy crease brush by Iconic London, and I'm going to start by pressing that into the crease. Okay, and once I'm happy with the pigmentation, I'm going to go into Raw Sienna, and I'm just taking a slightly bigger fluffy brush from Iconic, which I think is a concealer brush, and I'm going to blend out the edges of the taupe shade. Guys, using this is making me so impatient for my Norvina palette. I just always forget how easily these shades blend out. They're just so pigmented. And to finish blending that out, I'm going to take the lightest shade, which is Tempera, which is probably my most used shade so far. Just taking that on a big brush and just taking it under the brow bone, just to finish blending that. Okay, now going back to the crease, I'm gonna deepen it and darken it. So this time I'm gonna be taking Cyprus Umber. I'm just taking that on a pencil brush. It's just taking just a tiny little bit, dabbing off the excess and getting that right up into the crease. And then just going that back into that first brush to help blend out. Just so beautiful and smooth. Oh, I can't get over it. I'm always so amazed by these eyeshadows. These really are my favourite formula. Look at that. Okay, moving on. Once you're happy with that blend and how dark and smoky you've got that, we're going to take the P. Louise base again, or whatever you use to prime your lid with. I'm going to take a lot less this time. And I'm going to be cutting my lid. So today we're doing the whole lid and we're going for this half moon shape. Then once you've cut the lid, going over the whole of that with the golden shade Primavera. So once you've finished your cut crease, you've got your gold eyelid, it's time for the really fiddly part. And we're once again going to take the P. Louise base. And this time you want to take a fine eyeliner brush. I'm going to go with the Morphe E38. We'll see how that works out for me. I'm nervous, I'll be honest. I'm just going to get just a tiny bit out on my hand. I've never tried this before. I don't know why I'm doing it on camera. We're going to trace out eyeliner. It's not quite as opaque as I thought it would be. I always see people using it on like Instagram and it's got crazy coverage. But that's fine. What I'm going to do now is take another liner brush, and this time it's just a plain angled one. I'm going to go back into Cyprus Umber, which apparently at some point I've managed to dig my nail into, so that's awesome. I'm going to tap it into the top of that liner we just drew out. So I'm getting a very precise line. I'm going to fill that in all the way to the lash line. And then I'm going to draw the bottom, try to connect them. And I'm going to fill it in. And then using the same brush, I'm just going to come and fill in my lower lash line as well. Okay, got there in the end. Pretty even. I'm pretty happy with that. They look better than when I do my eyeliner on a daily basis, so we'll go with it. What we're gonna do now is smoke out the bottom part of the wing. And for that, I'm gonna go back into the shade Warm Taupe, which is the first shade that we used in the crease. So I'm gonna take a flat eyeshadow brush, but they're still quite small, so still fairly precise. I'm gonna take a little bit at a time, just smooth that out and hope I don't ruin everything. I'm quickly gonna grab another similar little brush. I'm just gonna go back into a little bit of that raw sienna as well, just to repeat the smoke that we had in the crease. And once again, just the same on the other side. Just want to make sure that eyeliner portion's really, really nice and sharp. So I'm just gonna go back into Cyprus Umber. Okay, I'm really, really, really happy with how this has turned out so far, but I feel like I really want to extend the shape all the way in the inner corner. So what I'm quickly gonna do is highlight my inner corner, and then we're gonna come back and finish off the wing. Now for the last time, I'm gonna go back into the P. Louise base. And what we're gonna do is extend the liner into a sharp point. And then again, taking that iconic brush with Cyprus Umber and just covering what we just added. So what I'm doing is keeping that inner corner really sharp. We've got the top of the wing that's really sharp, and the rest of it is just super smoked out. We definitely need a brown liner, so I'm gonna go for the Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Eye Pencil, and this is the shade Demolition. And now just quickly back into the Taupe palette with my Morphe M558 brush. I'm just gonna quickly highlight that brow bone. Okay, this look definitely needs some lashes. I'm just gonna go grab some, put on my mascara, put on the lashes, and I'll be right back to finish the rest of my face. Okay guys, my lashes are on. It took me ages to decide which ones I wanted because I wanted them dramatic but not too much. So I ended up going with the Kiss Lash Couture in the style Peignoir. Time to add a little bit of colour back into my face now, and the only bronzer I have at the moment is the L'Oreal Glam Bronze in the shade Blonde Harmony. Then just deepening that up with some contour, and I'm using the NYX HD Blush in the shade Taupe. Even with the gold eyeshadow, the overall look is pretty neutral, so you could really go either way with your blush and all of the rest. I'm going to keep it cool toned, so I'm going to go with Milani's Baked Blush in the shade Dolce Pink. I'm going to quickly add a little bit of nose contour as well. Because this makeup is pretty glam, before I finish with my highlighter, there's an extra step I like to take just to make me look really illuminated and really finish off the skin. So I like to take the Revolution highlighter palette in Radiance, then going into the shade on the right, and finally going into the darkest shade over here. And I'm going back over where we bronzed. For highlighter, I'm going to go back to the Taupe palette, and I want to do two things. I want to keep it in line with the gold that we've got on the eyes, but I've also got that coolness going on with the pink on my cheeks. So I'm going to take that gold shade again and mix it in with the pink, and it's going to create a really nice rose gold. So I'm just going to swirl it in. And again, just taking my Revolution fixing spray and highlight. Okay, to finish the look off, we're going to move on to lips. And I think this deserves a really kind of strong, dramatic lip. But even though it's really gross outside, like it's just pouring with rain, I'm not ready to admit that summer's over. I'm not ready to admit it's autumn. So I'm not going to take it too dark and dramatic. So I'm going to take my Huda Beauty lip set, and I'm going to be using the lip pencil and the liquid matte lipstick, both in the shade Trophy Wife. And finally, just setting everything in place using the Hyaluronic Fix Spray again. Okay guys, that's it for the finished look. What do you all think? I really like the way it turned out. Like I said earlier, this just isn't the colours that I would normally gravitate for in this palette, but I really love how this turned out. I'm really pleased with it. And I think I might try and do more of this kind of stuff in the future. And that's it for today's video, guys. I really hope you liked it. Again, make sure to leave me a thumbs up if you did, and subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss my next video. And I'll see you all on the next one. Bye!